Hey, what's going on YouTube? Too Sketchy coming at you. Welcome to something I just threw together, but I think it'd be pretty fun. I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone on my Discord for pointing me towards this website. But what we've managed to do is compile some of the more notable characters from Muck and threw them inside of a Hunger Games simulation. So let the killing commence. Essentially what we're doing here is playing a battle royale. So from District 1 you have me, myself, and I, yours truly, Too Sketchy, and a golem. From District 2 we have an elite golem and Dave. District 3 an elite Dave and a big chunk. District 4 is going to be represented by a buff chunk and a fire Dave, already with the world on fire behind him. District 5 has a water Dave and Gronk. 6 has a buff Gronk and of course lightning Dave, and this is definitely lightning Dave. I don't want to hear anything else. It's a Pikachu. Deal with it. District 7 has a wolf and an elite wolf. Chief for District 8 and a wyvern. District 9 has a cow and Bob, because that's balanced. District 10 has a villager and a trader. District 11 is clearly made out of just goblins, because they just threw in a goblin and an elite goblin. And District 12, there's Nightblade there, and a mixture of guardians. Depending on which color is your favorite, that's the kind of guardian that's going to be representing District 12. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and proceed. Here we go. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. The Nightblade runs away from the cornucopia. The cornucopia is sort of like a tent with lots of items that was inside of Hunger Games. Think of it as the hut in Muck. The wolf also runs away. The elite Dave runs away. The guardian actually grabs a backpack and then retreats. Gronk takes a sickle from inside the cornucopia. So like I said, this is sort of like the hut, right? Which has a green chest inside. Essentially, there's a ton of items inside the cornucopia. Players can choose to go there, especially in Hunger Games, but when they do, there's a lot of dangerous items. For example, a sickle that might get you killed. The golem runs away. The elite golem runs away. Big Chunk stays at the cornucopia looking for resources. Okay. Elite goblin breaks cow's nose for a basket of bread. Oh, okay. The wyvern snatches a bottle of alcohol and rag. The trader runs away. All right. Dave runs away. Water Dave grabs a shovel. The chief retreats what? He got a trident? So instead of a spear, he's running around with a trident. That makes sense. Goblin runs away. Elite wolf runs away. Pikachu runs away as well. Bob and villager fight for a bag. The villager gets up and retreats. Okay. Fire Dave takes a spear from inside the cornucopia. Buff Gronk runs away. Buff Big Chunk runs away as well, and I stay inside a cornucopia to look for resources. And that makes sense. Let's go ahead and proceed. All right, it is the first day. Let's see what happens. Elite Goblin receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Okay. Fire Days collects some fruit, okay, from a tree. Got it, that makes sense, like apples and whatnot. So it's trying to think of this as a Muck server. A wyvern received an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Oh god. Water Daves explores the arena, okay. Cow scares an elite wolf off. Villager sets off. What? The villager kills the guardian, the trader, Big Chunk, and a Gronk? Just the villager? Hello. Oh my gosh. Elite Dave scares off a Gronk. This villager is popping off right now. Lightning Dave and Chief fight Bob and Dave. Bob and Dave survive. Whew, okay. Buff Big Chunk, Too Sketchy, and Golem start fighting, but Too Sketchy runs away as Buff Big Chunk kills the Golem. Okay. Why did I run? Wolf is pricked by thorns while picking berries, and the Nightblade makes a wooden spear. Goblins diverts elite golem's attention and runs away. Well, that was an exciting day one. So far, the ones that have died is the guardian. Wait, wait, what? How did the guardian die? The villager kills the guardian, the trader, Big Chunk, and a Gronk? Just the villager? Oh, I remember. Yes. Okay. It's the first night. Here we go. An elite goblin kills a cow as he runs. Okay. That's just straight up, just completely okay. Elite golem, wyvern, and Dave cheerfully sing together. So these guys have become friends. Gotta keep a lookout for those guys. Buff Grunk received an explosive again with the explosive. What is going on? Bob pushes a wolf off a cliff during a knife fight. Goblin convinces Nightblade to snuggle with him. Wait, the goblin's like, Nightblade, I love you. And Nightblade's like, Too Sketchy and Elite Dave hold hands. I don't know how I feel about that. Buff Big Chunk tends to villager wounds. Isn't that the villager that blew up a bunch of people? Elite Wolf quietly hums. Interesting. And then Fire Dave and Water Dave tell stories about themselves to each other because they can both... Wait, no, well, yeah, no, what? Water Dave can beat Fire Dave so easily. I guess they're just friends. All right, it's day 2 now. So Fire Dave, Elite Golem, Wyvern, and Bob raid Dave's camp while she's hunting. These 3 people are raiding her camp. Good lord, I feel so bad for the Dave. Buff Big Chunk defeats Nightblade in a fight, but spares his life. What? So Buff Big Chunk almost broke Nightblade, but it just kind of left it alone. Villagers and Elite Dave work together for the day. Ooh, I don't like this. I don't like that at all. Too Sketchy receives clean water from unknown sponsor. Well, thank you very much. Goblin severely injures Elite Wolf, but puts her out of her misery. What? A goblin took on an Elite Wolf? Nah, I don't believe that. Buff Grunk scares off an Elite Goblin, and then Water Dave explores the arena. Whew. 3 cannon shots are heard in the distance for the wolf, the cow, and the Elite Wolf. Oh god. Night 2. Wyvern and Bob huddle for warmth. That makes sense, I guess. Buff Big Chunk cries himself to sleep. Fire Dave starts a fire. Oh, God. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, these make sense. For some reason, I'm holding Buff Grunk's hand right now. And Nightblade, Elite Golem, and Dave get into a fight, and Dave triumphantly kills them both. That's probably for raiding her camp, you bastards. Elite Dave passes out from exhaustion. Water Dave begs for villagers to kill her. He refuses, keeping Water Dave alive. Yikes. And Elite Golem tends to Golem's wounds. Oh, that's nice. They're you know, the same species, I guess. That makes sense. Day 3. Fire Dave dies from hunger. Okay. That's sad. Elite Goblin attacks Too Sketchy, but he manages to escape. That's what I thought. Elite Dave searches for firewood. Buff Big Chunk sprains his ankles while running away from Dave. What? Water Dave searches for firewood. Oh, you know, I guess he's made out of water, but hey, Bob is fishing. That's cool. Buff Grunk stabs Wyvern in the back with a trident. Good lord. Goblin practices his archery, and oh, that makes sense actually, because they do throw bones, right? And Villagers tries to spearfish with the trident. Oh my gosh. So the ones that died, Nightblade, Elite Golem, Fire Dave, and a Wyvern was stabbed in the back. Oh my god, it's the 3rd night. Buff Grunk and I are still holding hands on the 3rd night. Villagers, Elite Dave, Buff Big Chunk, and Water Dave tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. I wouldn't trust any of these guys, to be honest. Goblin, Bob, and Elite Goblin start fighting, but Bob runs away as Goblin kills an Elite Goblin. What is happening? And then Dave receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Cool, so there's a Dave running around with the hatchet. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from Tribute's family. So that tent that I was talking about, which takes place in Hunger Games, has now been refilled, which is essentially the hut with green chests being refilled as well. So with that being said, a goblin attacks Dave, but the villager protects her, killing the goblin. This villager and this Dave, I swear, are like the main characters in this storyline. Buff Big Chunk tracks down and kills Elite Dave. Yikes. Water Dave and the Too Sketchy get into a fight over raw meat, but Water Dave gives up and runs away. Yes. Okay, I thought I was gonna die there. Buff Grunk and Bob get into a fight over raw meat as well, but Bob gives up and runs away. Bob is stalking the villager. Buff Big Chunk overhears Dave and Buff Grunk talking in the distance. Too Sketchy and Water Dave split up to search for resources. Okay, so these guys have died. 3 cannon shots were heard in the distance. Elite Goblin, the Goblin, and Elite Dave all have passed away. Okay, this is the 4th night. Dave goes to sleep, and so do I. Buff Grunk severely slices the villager with a sword. This all makes sense. He does use a sword. Buff Big Chunk, Bob, and Water Dave cheerfully sing together once again. Proceeding to day 5, Water Dave goes hunting. Too Sketchy tries to go to sleep through the entire... Wait, what? Why am I sleeping the entire day? Buff Big Chunk is fishing. Dave sprains his ankle while running away from Buff Grunk, and Bob is exploring a cave right now. So yeah, the villager unfortunately died, and continuing on to night number 5, Buff Big Chunk climbs a tree to rest. Bob unknowingly eats a toxic berry. What? Buff Grunk bashes Too Sketchy's head and gets struck several times. No! Did Buff Grunk just kill me? Oh, God. Dave cries herself to sleep, and while Water Dave dies from thirst. How does Water Dave die from thirst? Wait, what? Water Dave makes water. How does water? That makes no sense. Dave sprains her ankles while running away from Buff Gronk, and Buff Big Chunk travels to higher grounds. Okay, he's probably making a sky base. Bob, Too Sketchy, and Water Dave die. Yeah, whatever. It happens. Buff Big Chunk receives an explosion. Again with the explosives. Buff Gronk loses sight of where he is. Okay, so he's lost. And Dave receives a hatchet. Okay, night number 6 is done. Day number 7 started. Buff receives fresh fruit from a sponsor. Dave dies. What? He just dies trying to escape the arena? And what? They both just die? So that means the winner is Buff Big Chunk from District 4? What happened? He's got 2 kills? The villager got 5 kills. Holy. Did I do anything? I just died. Okay. Well, that was that. I hope you enjoyed yourself. That was pretty fun. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Leave a like and a subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Too Sketchy out. Peace.